A night of winning in Heber, Park City, as well as Camas. We got coverage of Friday night football, as well as a lot of different players to talk to halfway through the season. Also, a water polo team with big shoes to fill and how they are continuing to win. It's all coming up right now on the Scoreboard. Hey everyone, welcome into the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Blake O'Rulian. It was quite the weekend here in the Wasatch Back, not only with the Park City Miners getting back to their winning ways with an absolutely dominant 53-0 win against Murray, and not just the Wasatch Wasps with their big-time 63-26 victory, including 5 touchdowns from senior running back Chris Cook. We have not talked enough about the still undefeated South Summit Wildcats. 5-0 this season, the number 2 team in 2A football. The Wildcats seem to be on a collision course towards San Juan for the 2A championship. KLB Thompson, the star wide receiver, currently tied for the second most touchdowns in the entire state with 11 so far this season. And on the defensive side of the ball, how about Brady Freeman, who is second in the country for total sacks with 10. No post-game coverage for this weekend, but we will be in Camas next Friday for their game against Summit Academy as they continue along their dominant ways. We are going to stay on topic. When we come back, Brent Martindale covers Wasatch's big-time homecoming win. Well, it's been 2 tough losses for the Wasatch Wasps, but last Friday there was a change amongst their team, their morale, and it resulted in a big-time win for the Wasps. Brent Martindale caught up with some of the coaches, along with senior Trevin Rothwell, following his 2 interceptions. And not just them, Stink TV's Diego Magana helped out a little on the sidelines with his interview with Coach Steve Coburn. Let's take a look.
We are with Trevin Rothwell from the Wasatch High School team. A big homecoming win over Salem Hills.
Heck yeah.
Trevin, great game for you. Before we talk about you, what does this mean for the team, this type of win?
It's a confidence builder. I think we've been down a little since we've been losing, but I think this is a good confidence builder to go win our other games.
You know, you talk about losing a couple to some pretty tough teams, right? Do you like the tough early preseason schedule?
Yeah, I think it gets us ready for region better. Hopefully, I wish we could win, but
Region 9 is tough,
yeah.
So it's a great way to go in. So 2 interceptions. What is helping you the most? Be able to be reading these type of defenses? Are you learning every week these type of things?
Probably film. Study is my biggest help, just knowing what they're going to run, what formations.
So, you know, offense and defense doing it all tonight. What are the coaches preparing you for each week and going here forward?
What they're coaching right now is we just need to be relentless. We need to finish on our games because we've been up almost every game. We just haven't finished. That's what we've been coached on the most right now.
So what's up next? You got a road trip to Maple. And what do you think coaches are going to say? They're going to give you a night to celebrate, but then back to work, right?
We're going to be back to it on Monday working hard. We're going to go get that win.
What do you know about Maple?
Not much. Not much yet.
Trevin Rothwell, big game for Wasatch and a big win for Wasatch. Thanks for taking a minute.
How do you feel about tonight?
Oh, it's great. I'm excited for our seniors getting a big homecoming win in such a great fashion. That's what I'm excited about.
We are with Coach Stanton Nakana of the winning Wasatch High School team tonight. Homecoming, big win over Salem Hills. Coach, first, how does it feel to get a big win over Salem?
Oh, absolutely marvelous, especially during a homecoming. The boys needed this. We really needed this.
You talk about needing it. You know, it's been a couple of weeks of tough play, but 6A teams may be a really good way to get ready for Region 9.
That was the plan, yes. I mean, it's always the plan to win our preseason games, but the way Coach Coburn has set it up, it's really helped us for region play.
So you are the coach over linebackers, a big big night for linebackers, right? Trevin Rothwell, we just spoke to. That's not surprising to you, right?
Well, I mean, the linebackers did very well. They deserve all this accolades. I mean, Brisk, Colton Brisk, yes. Sawyer Johansson, yes. Trevin Rothwell. Oh, unbelievable.
That's what we wanted you to do, is mention the names that don't get mentioned all the time, and that's good. Maple Mountain next week.
Yes.
Tell me some game plan.
Well, I mean, we've always been taught we take one game at a time. Now this is over. Now we focus on Maple Mountain, and that's it. We won't go any further than that.
Coach Akana, thank you for taking a minute.
Next week, you guys are at Maple Mountain, right?
Yes.
How are you guys going to prepare for that game?
Yeah, well, we're going to enjoy tonight and tomorrow, and we'll get ready for Maple Mountain, but another big rivalry for us. We expect to go down there and have the same results next week.
All right, so Wasatch put together quite the win on Friday night, but what about the Park City Miners, giving up a total of 0 points to run away with a 53-0 homecoming win on Friday night? I talked to a handful of players, including Braden Baier, who's got an injury update for his brother and starting quarterback Chase Baier. Hey everyone, right now we're joined by Braden Baier after a big-time homecoming win. Braden, how do you feel after this big-time win?
Oh, it's great. It was fun. Good to get out with the boys and, get our first step to having a great weekend, homecoming weekend. So obviously it's not a great homecoming if the football team doesn't win. So we got that checked off, and so we took care of the job and got it done.
You get that checked off, but also you're back in the win column. Last week you lost to East. How does it feel to get back in the win column?
Great. We had a better week of practice than the week before. We're more focused now. Everyone's just coming back together, so we're getting things in the right track again. So.
This team is super, super talented from top to bottom. I mean, even in the second half when you started playing the bench a little bit more, the team still played really, really well. What do you have to say about even the second string, the third string guys on this team?
Yeah, they're always grinding in practice to get better. They give us a great scout look for teams like this. So they're hats off to them. Hats off to all my other boys, starter boys who cheer them on too. And so team comes together and get a great win. So yeah.
Super, super fun seeing everybody get on the field tonight. For you, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it seemed almost easy out there for you. What were the holes like? What were you seeing out there?
Yeah, obviously my line's so good. I got Mason Grover in front of me blocking for me. So that just opened space up, and yeah, it felt like a breeze, and I was in the end zone.
How has it been playing without Chase for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, Max has really stepped up. He's doing a great job. So it's a bummer for sure. He's my brother and last ride, but Max is doing a great job.
You're actually someone I've been wanting to talk to. If I can't talk to Chase because we talk to him every single week, we got to talk to you. And so you just told me right before we turned on the cameras he's going to be back in potentially a week. Is that what you think, or is it going to be a couple weeks out? It's just looking like he's doing a little better.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a little better, seeing the doctor and stuff. So we'll see next week, and we're just taking it step by step, and hopefully he gets back on the field.
I've been asking everybody this question because you never really know with a team like this. You're 1-1 in region right now. What is the ceiling for this team? Because you're playing the best football you've played in years.
Yeah, I think it's extremely high. We had a tough loss last week, but I think hopefully we win out, and I think we will win out, and we're going to make sure of that, and hopefully we get a second chance at East, and yeah.
You've got Highland next week.
Yeah.
How do you feel like that game plays out?
Yeah, I think, we're going to have a great week of practice. I think everyone's going to work hard, and I think we should take care of it.
Hey, everyone. Right now we are joined by Miles Preston. And, Miles, a lot of times it's Carson Baines with the big-time punt returns. Yeah. You had an incredible game. What do you think about this 53-0 victory tonight?
It was super fun. Energy was super high on both sides of the ball. And, going back to the Carson thing, he struggled with this little hamstring tweak, so I've just been back there catching punts, and it was super fun taking one to the house, but kind of unlucky it got called back. But
I could not believe it got called back. Don't worry, we're still going to blast it everywhere on social media. It was unbelievable. What was going on through your head during that? Even though it did get called back, what was going on through your head?
Well, I didn't know if I had enough time originally when I caught it, but when I looked down and I didn't really see anybody and I saw space, I took it to the right, and then I noticed everyone kind of shifting towards the right side of the field, and that's when I cut it back to the left and just use my speed to get in the end zone. So,
how tough was Murray as a football team tonight? You beat them 53-0. You guys almost made it look easy, but was there anything that threw you off about them?
I feel like we played a really good week of practice, so we really planned for them, and it was kind of easy going in. But it wasn't that hard to face Murray this year. But
The entire team has been talking about how good practice has been. What's been going on at practice specifically that everyone is talking about how good the team is playing? You're playing on all cylinders right now, it seems like. What's going on at practice that's making that change?
Well, especially this past loss against East, we really picked it up Monday. Started with a hard Monday practice, which really got us going for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then coming to a game Friday. So
you've got Highland next week. How do you think that game plays out?
I feel like if we just have another good week of practice like we did this past week, I think we'll be fine cruising into Highland. So,
well, Miles, you are doing a fantastic job. Congratulations and great job tonight. Hey everyone, right now we're here with Jack Stauffer following the big-time homecoming win for the Park City Miners. Jack, how you feeling after the 53-0 win?
I'm feeling great. You know, it was awesome to see the younger guys get in there and ball out. I mean, that usually doesn't happen, and they for sure balled out. I mean, they go really hard in practice too, so they deserve it.
We've talked to a couple guys already, and they've been saying that. Can you give me a couple names who really stood out to you in the second half?
For sure, Pierce Gardner. His name's he's like the big running back. His name's Alex. I don't know his last name. I can't recall it. Owen West also, he's a running back. He goes super hard in practice. He actually in the beginning of the season, he came and like trucked me in a practice, and I didn't see it coming. And I mean, props to him. So that was awesome. Yeah.
You had some unbelievable tackles. Some really like. I don't know the right adjective, but I guess vicious tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, you were throwing guys down that did not want to go down. What was going on through your head? Is that something that you like to do?
I mean, yeah, I love the violence. That's why I play the game. I mean, last year I wasn't as violent as I am now, but I mean, senior year, and you got to go as hard as you can.
I mean, I've got to say, you might have a spot on the varsity wrestling team in just a couple of months here. What do you think about that?
I mean, it helps to get you better tackles and get your form better, so I mean, could do that.
Jack, what does it mean for you to be on a team right now that is playing better than you've played in years?
I mean, I love these guys. We've been playing in youth football since we were 8 years old. We have like the best chemistry. I mean, our bond together is amazing. So, I mean, it's not surprising. It's kind of expected for me. So I'm glad that we're pulling it off.
How is the team doing? There's been some adjustments that have had to be made. I mean, the number one being that Chase went down 2 weeks ago. You're now 1-1 without Chase. One game against East last week that didn't go your way. Tonight, you played better than you've played all season. So how has the team been adjusting halfway through the season?
Max Grizel, he's a great quarterback. I mean, he just gets in his head sometimes, but he's a great athlete, makes awesome reads. And Chase is one of the most amazing leaders I've ever met in my life. So even when he's out, he still leads the team and does a great job doing that.
What has he been doing? Has he been able to come to practices? Has he been talking to Max and other players on the team?
Yeah, he actually practiced this week in like full pads. But I mean, I feel like since we were playing this team that he couldn't really play. I mean, it wasn't a good idea to play because he didn't want to injure himself again. I mean, and he definitely helps Max. He knows every read and he knows what to do every play, so it definitely helps out Max and take his mind off of if he gets in his head or not.
It's good to know that he's probably going to be back in just a couple of weeks. I'm hearing that he maybe just got hit, but he's doing all right now. He's on the protocols and things like that, so he's going to make his way back once he's cleared and everything. But for this team, what do you think the ceiling is? I've been asking everybody this, but this team is so special right now. You're 1-1 in region. You've got about 4 or 5 games left in the season before the state playoffs. Where do you think you're going to be seated going into November time?
I definitely think we'll be top 5. I mean, Coach told us the other day that only 10 teams make the playoffs this year, and I didn't know that. So we definitely got to handle business here, and we got to get it done. But I think we will do that.
Hey everyone! Right now we are joined by Hunter Pratchett following the big-time homecoming win. Hunter, how you feeling right now, man?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. This is a huge game, lots of energy, and I think we did really well.
Yeah, what did you see out there specifically from Murray? What did you see that the Park City team was really just able to capitalize on?
I think we were just capitalized. So we obviously had our loss last week, and so we weren't too happy about that, but we just wanted to get a win back, homecoming week. We just wanted to put lots and lots of energy into this game, lots of effort, and we came out on top.
49 seconds into the game, you guys scored your first touchdown, and it was on from there. So it just seemed like the team was just playing on all cylinders tonight. Is that what you felt out there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We played great as a team together. You know, our offense was clicking, our defense was clicking, and then when the younger guys got in, they kept it up as well, you know. As you can see, it's a shutout. We kept points up, so props to them.
That's something I really wanted to ask you about was actually the bench playing. The bench had a fantastic game, still held them to no points in the second half, and even scored a touchdown themselves. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel great. It's lots of hope for the future.
Well, Hunter, we really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for talking, and good luck the rest of the season. So what do you do when your winning team loses their Division I goalie and brings in a ton of new faces who have never played your sport? Well, you find a way to remain a winning team. I talked to a couple of the captains of the Park City water polo team about their continued success during their undefeated season. Hey everyone, right now we are joined by the undefeated Park City girls water polo team. I'm here with Savannah as well as Kala, and they're having a fantastic season. Girls, how has the season been so far for both of you? I'm going to go here and then I'm going to go back over.
Okay. It's been good. Winning, but it's just been kind of difficult with our younger players.
Yeah, I think so too. Last year, it's just really different this year because last year it was pretty much the whole team had played for at least a year, and now it's mostly sophomores or younger that it's their first season. So it's been a bit of a learning curve, but it's good.
So that's really fascinating because there is that learning curve, but you're still having a lot of success. What are the differences that have been made because there are a lot of newer names and newer faces to the team?
Well, it's really honed into kind of like 4 of us, and we kind of just try to like make it work and give the ball to the newer players as much as we can.
And then Kala, with that all being said, is it difficult to kind of have, kind of this big difference between the 4 of you maybe who are a lot more seasoned and things like that versus having to play with other players who maybe don't have as much experience?
Yeah, it's especially difficult with our goalie because last year, we went from having a goalie going D1 to a goalie that is her first season in the water. And it's been fine, like she's doing great, but obviously she is brand new, so that definitely slows down the game a lot.
Of course, big shoes to fill with Ava Stein leaving. And so what has it been like? Who has kind of had to kind of step up? Obviously the goalie herself, but has it been you two? Who else has there been that have really need to step up their game in order to play at a super high level?
So it's been us two, Nina Basic and Nina Zipnik, and sometimes it just comes down to like leaving your player to go onto the other side of the goal and just put a hand up and just hope for the best.
I was talking to your coach a little bit, and she was actually mentioning that a lot of these teams, I should say, have a lot of new players as well. So there's a lot of youth in the sport of water polo. Has that kind of been beneficial for you, seeing that not everybody has a whole bunch of seasoned veterans on the team?
Yeah, I think it's definitely good for us because it kind of evens out the playing ground, at least for fall season. During spring season, we can have girls from different high schools because it's not technically our high school season. But for the fall season, you have to play for the high school you're at, which kind of makes the teams a little less good. So it's been more even for us, which is really nice.
It's actually something I really want to bring up, actually, is how was the summer? I know you were all over the place going to different tournaments and things like that. Can you just tell me a little bit about the summer and what you've been up to?
Yeah, so Cal and I played for a club team called Kearns, and they're down in Salt Lake. And we just did Junior Olympics with them, which is like one big tournament, and it was in California. And yeah.
Kala, what about you? What have you been up to outside of, did you do anything with Utah United or anything like that?
Not this year. We had a few practices every once in a while, but we didn't travel or anything with them. Like Sav said, it was just Kearns, and then we would just kind of practice as much as we could, and we swam a lot. But during the summer, it's kind of more individualized because a lot of girls from high school completely stop over the summer because it's not an official season. But yeah.
How is the boys team doing as well? I know you're obviously the girls team, you are completely separate, but how has the boys season been so far? I know there's a lot of youth on that team as well.
They are not undefeated, but
That's a very nice way to put it.
But I think they're doing well. A lot of their boys are newer boys are more committed than our newer girls, which is nice for them. But the boys' fall season is like similar to their spring season. Like a lot of the boys just stay with their high schools, so it's like more competitive than ours.
And then also, how has this team, or I guess I should say when it comes back to the girls team, how has this team been doing in terms of teaching these younger players? What has it been like trying to bring them up? Has it been tough to teach them all these different things? Water polo is an extremely difficult sport. There's a lot of things to adjust to. What's it been like teaching some of these newer players?
I think during practice, it's really nice. It's not an issue. We're a lot calmer in practice, and we can really give the girls good, positive feedback. But during games, and it's like when it's close or when we're only down by a few or up by a few, it gets really stressful, and definitely our tone takes more of like a negative whatever. But during practice, it's good. Like, I think they're learning.
With this now, you're still undefeated. Who are some of the teams on the horizon that you're looking forward to playing and do you think are going to be kind of difficult to play against?
I think the Kearns team will be our most difficult team to play.
Outside of Kearns, is there anyone else that you know that is going to be competitive with your team?
Yeah, so the Skyline team we played this week, we did win, but they were missing a couple players. Well, one player in particular. She wasn't able to come, so once she comes, it'll definitely be more competition, and they also have a more experienced goalie than we do, so that should be a close game.
Well, Kala, Savannah, thank you both so much for being here. We can't wait to continue to cover this season. Thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. On Friday, we meet Park City's newest basketball coach.
Over the summer, and I've seen them compete at the highest level that they can and be successful, winning a couple games this summer that they've told me about. And yeah, coming from Wasatch Academy, it was a tough decision to leave that program because I built really great relationships with those girls. We were on the right track to building something special in the future. I know we were, but I think it was so hard to pass up an opportunity to come here to Park City because, yeah, like you said, Wasatch Academy, great story and all that kind of area out there. But being back locally near the Salt Lake Valley where I'm from, it gives me an opportunity to come out here and build something special at Park City. Now, the talent that is coming back next year, I'm so excited to work with. And the challenge is one thing I'm really excited to. Olympus, one of the best teams in the state. I want to have an opportunity to compete with some of the best teams in the state, like Olympus, taking on Brighton, East, and a couple other teams in the region that are coming up. The challenge is going to be exciting for me. And yeah, the opportunity, it came at the right time because it was time for me to take on the next challenge, because I've been at schools at American Academy in Springville where I took them to the first ever state appearance in my first year as a head coach. I tell this story, it's amazing because the school didn't have success before I got there, about 2 wins in about 5 years, ended up winning about 7 to 8 games that season. The AD and the school didn't think we were going to state. We didn't have a bus to go to state. So we ended up driving down there to state anyways, and we ended up losing to North Summit, who has a player at Utah now. So we competed with them and had a great story to tell there. After Merit Academy, going to Utah Military Academy up in Ogden, I did the same thing. I turned the program around from 3 or 4 wins in 3 years they had to winning 6 games and 8 games the next couple years and going to state appearances for that school. And now when going back to Wasatch last year, it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. I wanted to go out there and learn. I learned from the boys program how they run it, how they were successful to be on a down year, they called it, in their season. But they still ended up having a great season, the boys did. And I learned so much watching that program, how to build a program at a smaller level, at a 2A class. So I think all my experiences from the challenges from the other schools I've been at and the success I've had at those schools, it gives me a real opportunity that I think I can build on the talent that's here at Park City, and I think we can have a really exciting year.
As well as a whole lot more. For Brent Martindale, I am Blake O'Rulian, and we will see you all on Friday.